For this 3-4 front blitz setup, we're going to take a look at a defense out of 3-4 over that's called outside linebacker fire 2. And as you look at your screen, you can see that's the 2 outside linebackers that are blitzing. So let's go ahead and see what we can do as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback from those guys and plus from one of the inside linebackers. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first setup that we're going to do here. And this particular defender, as you look at it, this is going to be the right inside linebacker. We're going to make some havoc with this particular defender, and I'm going to show you what we can do here. And what this is going to allow is some edge rush pressure coming off the edge. Now, I will tell you, you can definitely move some guys around to create even a double edge, and we'll talk about that here in just a sec. So let's go ahead and just do this. So to set this one up, what I'm going to tell you guys to do is to take control of this guy right here. Now, you can either put him in the middle third or a middle read. And this is this linebacker right here as I'm in control of him right now. So it's going to be this linebacker right here. And you're going to notice now he's in the middle read is what I've got him in as you look at it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to switch off to the right inside linebacker. You're simply going to go ahead and blitz him and then bring him into this area here. Now, something else I like to do is I like to go ahead and pinch the defensive line. And then what that's going to do, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see what this setup's going to have. So as you look at it, we've got that linebacker now, the one that I'm in control of right here. He's going to be blitzing towards the A gap between the center and right guard. Now, I'm not really going to blitz him. I'm actually going to drop him back. Now, if you know that what I end up doing, I talked about just a second ago, I have this guy dropping back in the hook zone, but he's dropping back in the middle read. So he's going to be somewhere in this area here. And then what I'm going to do with my guy, I'm going to allow him to rush just for a second. And then I'm going to drop him back in the shorter middle of the field. So I'm going to have two defenders playing the short to mid-middle of the field, taking away the as far as the routes underneath. Now, I'll show you something in a second. So let's go ahead and run this. Now, the pressure is going to come off the edge here from this linebacker who's going to be able to bring some edge pressure right there. So let's go ahead and just take a look at it here as far as what's going to happen here. And you can see right there, we get some pressure. Now, right there, I got what I was talking about as far as the coverage is. You can see that I'm covering the short middle of the field, and the other defender that I put back in that mid zone is covering the deeper part of the field over the middle right there. So that's kind of right there. So you kind of get two different levels right there of coverage, plus you get the pressure on the quarterback. So that's one setup that you can do. Now, I mentioned something else you can do if you want. Let's go into, now this only applies really if you have a X factor playing the linebacker spot. You can go ahead and flip it. I'm going to go ahead and flip it this time. And so we're going to that same defense again, the outside linebacker fire 2. And I want to show you very similar to the same setup, but this time we're still going to get pressure coming from this linebacker here. But because we move the X factor over here, then he could possibly get some pressure off the edge. So we're going to do the same setup that I just mentioned to you. I'm going to go ahead and put him in the middle read. I'm going to go ahead and blitz this guy. I'm going to go ahead and put him in this area here, just behind the nose tackle. And then I'm going to allow him to blitz. And then I'm just hoping that maybe that X factor can get pressure. And if he doesn't, I still get pressure off the edge. So that's what I'm trying to create there, is to get double edge pressure. You may not get it, you may get it, but you know, it's something you can definitely do as far as bringing some pressure on the quarterback. So that's one setup right there that you can do to go ahead and bring some pressure on the quarterback. All right, I want to go ahead and look at another setup that's going to allow you to bring some inside pressure as well. So let's go ahead and show that to you guys. Let's get back on here. And I'm going to go ahead and switch everything back as far as what the package is. And then we're going to go back into this setup again, the same defense. Again, this is going to be the outside linebacker fire 2. And this time I'm looking to get some inside pressure coming from this linebacker right here. So this is going to be the one I'm hot routing. Now, I don't need to get him too close. And then for this setup, what you're going to do is you're going to put this guy, I'm going to put him in go ahead and put him in a middle read. So again, I get at least somebody playing the short middle, mid to short middle of the field at least. And then I'm going to go ahead and pinch the defensive line. So I'm going to go ahead and pinch the defensive line. And then I'm going to slide this X factor, whoever it may be, in this case it's Miller. And then I'm going to move him into the inside, and I'm going to hot route him on a flat route towards the left. And then once the ball is snapped, he's going to go in this direction here while I manly rush him. And then he's going to come to the outside here. So he's going to end up going to the outside initially. And then I'm going to manually rush him off the edge. And then I should get some, hopefully get some inside pressure coming from this linebacker right there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works and see if it happens here. But you can see the setup. So we got a 5-man pass rush essentially on this one. We don't have 6 defenders. Now we have 5. There's the play right there as far as the play art. So let's go ahead and snap it here. And you guys will see that if you do this right, you should get that same type of pressure that I'm referring to. In that case, we end up getting that outside. We got double edge pressure from that linebacker. That's only because the only reason that happened was because this guy was too close up to the line of scrimmage. All right, so let's go ahead and do the same thing. This time we won't move him all. We won't move that linebacker, and he should get that inside A-gap pressure there. Plus, we should be able to get the outside linebacker pressure as well. And there it is right there. So you can see that's another way of doing that setup. Now, as I said before, if you decide to go this route, you know, you really only got one defender that's playing the deep short middle of the field. I'm just going to re-blitz him. Sorry about that. We'll re-blitz him. So there he is, blitz. And then again, we're doing this right off the edge. Now, this applies. Let's go ahead and do this with this edge rush here and see what happens here. I want to show this to you guys in a second. So right there. So we get that same pressure we get from 2 guys. Now, if we go back again, if we want to make this sub, and it kind of goes back to what I showed you initially when we first started doing this breakdown. If you go back into the packages and then go back into that same defense again, you can get triple pressure, assuming that the X factor can apply that pressure. So we're going to go ahead and drop this guy back in the mid zone. We're going to go ahead and re-blitz him. There's the setup so far. We're taking control of this guy right here, put him in into a hard flat. Now you got to remember that linebacker still has to get past that left tackle. So his finesse rating, pass rush rating, needs to be able to where he can get past the left tackle. So that's one thing you definitely got to take into account when you do this. But at any rate, you got this guy right here. You got the X factor. You hope that he can get pressure off the edge, and you know you're going to get this B gap pressure or A gap pressure coming from that left inside linebacker. So let's go ahead and do the same setup here and just see what happens here. And again, that time we got the pressure coming from the X factor from the outside. We did get caught up over there. Unfortunately, we got caught up, but we still got the pressure on the quarterback. So these are some setups that you guys can do that, in my opinion, will definitely allow you to get some pressure. Here, we'll just do this time. This time we'll go with that same setup that I showed, and we're going to move him inside. And there it is right there, the same setup. Now we're just hoping that we can get around and get into that quarterback. And there we go there. That time we got around, but we still got the inside pressure as well. So definitely some different things you can do with this particular defense that's going to allow you to bring some pressure on the quarterback. And I hope that this particular setups will give you a couple different ideas maybe you guys haven't seen from the 3-4 over outside linebacker fire 2 that can certainly bring some pressure, whether it be inside pressure, double edge pressure, or maybe one guy from the outside and still get the inside pressure on another setup, depending on what setup you decide to do with this particular play.